Namo Namaste Gurave Mahatmane Vimukta Sangaya Saduttamaya Nityadvayananda Rasasvarupini Bhumne Sada Paradayam Budhamni Namaste, Namaste, Vibho Vishwamurte. Namaste, Namaste, Chidanandamurte. Namaste, Namaste, Tapoyogagamya. Namaste, Namaste, Shrutijnanagamya. Swarajya Samrajya Vibhutiresha Bhavat Kripa Shri Mahima Prasadat Prapta Maya Shri Gurave Mahatmane Namo Namaste Stu Punarnamostu Namo Namastestu Punarnamostu Namo Namastestu Punarnamostu Namastasmai Sadaikasmai Kasmai Chinmahase Namaha Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate Yadetad Vishwarupena Rajate Guru Rajate. See, whatever in the invocation we are speaking, it is only because, as we say, this knowledge is a living knowledge. It has to be lived. Otherwise, it doesn't have any value. As a picture of a fire you cannot cook your food with a picture of a fire. You cannot get the warmth from the picture of a fire. Like that, unless this knowledge, which is about our own real self, our true identity, if it is not lived, then it cannot do anything at all. Jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. He says that whatever differential notion we are suffering from, we are sukha, dukkha, etc., the fire of knowledge, it destroys all the differences, all our karmas, it is said, if you understand correctly. So, that is why we are so much everywhere, we are always, not only we, the Shastras are repeatedly speaking about the Guru. Because it is through the Guru Parampara, the lineage of the Gurus, that this knowledge has flown to us. It's not from the book, it's not just from listening. The Guru has to light the lamp in us, and we have to keep that lamp ablaze, make it more and more radiating as we do our pursuit. That is why we said that relevance of Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita for everybody. Why everybody is coming, whereas Upanishad was limited to few people. Although Bhagavad Gita has been prescribed for everybody, but people do not practice it, thinking that after retirement we will do. For everybody it becomes because this knowledge of the truth, when we start living it, we need not know, we might not have had the first-hand experience as I was speaking yesterday. But walking on that path itself is greatly fulfilling. So generally we say that whatever are the characteristics of a knower, those become the sadhana for a seeker. That means whatever behavior a person who has known the truth will have, unaffectedness, impersonality, impartiality, universal love, universal concern, all those are characteristics which is coming from a person who has identified his own self with the universal self. So if we start following those qualities, if we start imbibing those qualities, if we start understanding those qualities, grasping those qualities, try to implement them in our life, then the life becomes immensely fulfilling. We cannot imagine the kind of joy that we can have when our mind expands. May not be universal level, but at least a little bit of expansion also. We are always trying to constrict ourselves. All our desires, competition, ambition, blamefulness, all these things are constricting our mind. Every time we allow the mind to expand, the joy will be so much that will be the impetus for further growth. But we have to live that. We have to experience that every moment as we apply this knowledge and feel the result on our own mind. Others will not be able to know. We have to know that. We have to feel that. So how this knowledge of the Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita becomes for everybody is this, that whatever we can pursue, we have to apply it, we have to practice it. Then it becomes for everybody. Whether you have known the ultimate truth or not, it doesn't matter. As we are walking on the path, every step towards this will be becoming that, becoming that, becoming that. That itself is fulfilling. Now, yesterday we discussed quite a lot. Today, let us see. We will start from somewhere. Whether we have discussed it yesterday, I don't know. Just show the first slide, Call of Upanishads. I think we had mentioned about it that generally the religion depends on the faith in some concept of God. See, one thing is very important. One person said that, I don't believe in God. And there were a lot of questions. I think you will find it in our website also. So the fact is that some people believe in God means they believe in their concept of God. Suppose two seekers are worshipping Shiva. Do you think that Shiva in both the minds are same? For each person it will be different. It is his concept of Shiva that he is worshipping. Similarly, those who say that I am an atheist, I don't believe in God, actually he believes in the concept of no God. Are you able to appreciate that? Somebody believes in a concept of God, and those who claim to be atheist, they believe in the concept of no God. That is also a concept of the mind. But the person who believes that there is God and the person who believes that there is no God, in the two concepts, the God lies there in the person. The truth lies in his I-ness, in the identity of the person. So that identity, as it is expressing through the body, sometimes it is saying, I don't believe in the concept of God, by that whatever they mean, and I believe in this God or that God, whatever we mean. The truth is transcendental. We have to, even if we believe in God, we have to transcend that belief or faith. So our Upanishads, the call is a call for first-hand discovery, if you can understand it well. What does first-hand discovery mean? For riding a car, we don't have to discover the car. Somebody has discovered, somebody has made, we are utilizing it. But if it is a truth about our own self, about our own identity, so unless we discover our real identity, how will it work for me? Am I clear? Until I discover that this is my real identity, not the other one which I have created by egoistic various desires and all. Until that becomes my experience, there is no point in saying that I am the Atma, universal Atma also. We can say, because that repeatedly saying, we will become slowly like that. But the main focus should be on becoming, not on uttering. On becoming what my real identity is. That there lies the whole sadhana. So Upanishads are a call for that pursuit, where every step of life, every moment of life, you try to become. In Shvetashvatara is a great call of the Upanishads, which is quoted in our country. Many, many hundreds of years it is being quoted. From our modern literature came also. Shinvantu vishve amritasya putraha aye dhamani divyani tasthuhu Vedahametam purusham mahantam aditya varnam tamasah parastat. He says that Shinvantu vishve amritasya putraha. Can you imagine this country, this culture, this heritage? They are not saying that you all listen, I am the Son of God. He did not say that. He says you all are son of immortality. What will be a son of immortality? Will he not be immortal? A son of immortality will be immortal. So he says that I have come to know that we are all immortal. So he is giving the call that, oh, you all listen to me. Who are the all? You all, the son of immortality. Amritasya putraha. There are novels written in Bengali, at least with the title Amritasya putraha. That means this term has become so famous in our culture that even authors write novel on that, that we are actually immortal. We don't know. Not that we have to become immortal. Nobody can become immortal. We are immortal, but we don't know that. Because we don't know, we are having a lot of problems. And the individual problems, social problems, everything. How did he say that? He says that Vedahametam purusham mahantam aditya varnam tamasah parastat. He says that how can I say that I have known that Mahan Purusha, that great identity, that great consciousness. Purusha means our conscious identity. I have known that by crossing over the darkness. Tamasa parastat. Vedahametam purusham mahantam aditya varnam. He is like the bright sun. For nuclear bomb we have written brighter than the 1,000 suns. This is even brighter because there is nothing else like that. Why? Because the sun has to be revealed by the consciousness. Any sun, even if there are 1,000 suns rising on the sky, it has to be revealed by our consciousness. So the real sun is the real revealer of everything. So when we go within to discover who am I, we finally land on that revealer of everything. He is the revealer of the external world, revealer of the internal world of mind, thoughts, emotions, intelligence, everything. He is the fundamental revealer. Yesterday also I discussed something. Today also I will look more about it. So I have known that Mahana Purusha, going beyond, crossing the darkness. Tamasa parastat. Then he says in the same Upanishad, Tamim Shrinvantu Vishve Amritasya Putraha Aye Dhamani Divyani Tasthuhu Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasah Parastat Tameva Viditvati Mrityumeti Nanya Pantha Vidyate Ayanaya Nanya Pantha Vidyate Ayanaya Nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. He says that tam eva viditva. This eva in Sanskrit in our scriptures is very important. It means only. Tam eva viditva. Knowing that Mahan Purushaha in the beyond the transcending the darkness, knowing that Mahan Purusha, tam eva viditva, knowing him alone, that Mahan Purusha alone. Atimrityu meti, we can cross over death. Now death is not only the physical death of the body. The death means all along surrounding us, everywhere there is changefulness. Yesterday I mentioned that changefulness means the cause is dying and the effect is getting born. That effect is becoming the cause of the next. So that again is dying, another effect is getting born. So we are surrounded by birth and death because we are surrounded by the changeful world, the changeful universe, the changeful creation. Tam eva viditva atimrityu meti. We can cross over this changefulness by knowing this Mahan Purushaha. Na anya panthaha vidyate ayanaya. There is no other way to cross over death and know our own immortality. He is calling us as immortal, but we don't know that we are immortal. How do we become immortal? By discovering our real identity. There is no other way. Because that identity is not in the created world. The created universe is only appearing in that consciousness, in that Atma, in that Brahman, in that identity. So all the changefulness, energy, play, birth, death, everything is in this created world. But all these are revealed by that consciousness, that identity which we are in reality. There are many other such shlokas which are very inspiring and some are more revealing also. In Kathopanishad, I think it was 2.1.1 or so. Paranchi khani vetrinat swayambhuhu tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman. He says that Brahma, the creator, if there is any creator, he has created us with our sense organs always looking outside. Paranchi khani, that means the sense organs, they are always looking outward. He says Vyatrinat Swayambhu. Swayambhu means Brahma. Vyatrinat means like a blade of grass. That means he has created us out of neglect. The Indriya is always looking outside. If they were not always looking outside, they were looking inside also, then we would not have so much of trouble. But the trouble is part of creation. Without trouble, nothing will happen. There is a story behind that also. Brahma first created Vasishtha. Vasishtha Deva, the first sage. Now Vasishtha was born, but he would not do anything. He was like a stone almost. So Brahma tried to inspire him, he would not. Then he understood that the first step of Brahma was wrong. Although we say that Brahma is saying, there are other shlokas where he says that not a single step of mine will go wrong. Why? Because I have kept Vishnu always in my heart. Vishnu means that Atati Vyapnoti iti Vishnu, the all-pervading self or Atma or Brahman. That he is identifying, Brahma is identifying with the ultimate truth, with the consciousness in producing the creation, manifesting the creation. So nothing can go wrong there. At the same time, the first person he created was a wrong creation. That is Vasishtha coming. Then he understood that, oh, acha. He took Vasishtha, put him on his lap, and his sankalpa was let all the ignorance get into him. Immediately Vasishtha started crying, what did you do to me? What did you do to me? I am suffering, I am suffering. Then he said, yes, I want you to suffer. This suffering will make you put your effort to get rid of the suffering. Then when you know the truth about your own identity, you will be freed of the suffering, and now that you have crossed through the suffering, you will be able to help others who are suffering out of ignorance. These stories are all there to understand the basic truth, that's all. So he says, as if Brahma has, Kathopanishad says that Brahma has created out of neglect. He has created our indriyas, our sense organs, always outgoing. Paranchikhani vyatrinat swayambhuhu tasmat parang pashyati na antaratman. Nobody is able to see his Atma, his own identity, because their focus is always on outside. Kaschid dhiraha pratyagatmanam aikshat avritta chakshuhu amritatvam icchan. Kaschid dhiraha amritatvam icchan avritta chakshuhu pratyagatmanam aikshat. What he is saying is that this is the way we have been created, but there are very few people, kaschit, dhiraha, who can be called wise, dhiraha. All these words are very important. In my many sessions I have interpreted dhiraha also with we call it vyutpatti, that is the etymological meaning. They are all very significant. But if I go on explaining these things, then nothing, always will go other way. Kaschid dhiraha amritatvam icchan. That is, somebody wise person, he finds that all around it is all changeful, perishable. If I hold on to somebody, he may live or I may have to live. There is no certainty. I cannot hold on to anything as permanent. There is no permanence in the world at all. So he investigated and found that the whole creation is a causal creation. Cause and effect chain. So looking for, as I explained yesterday, looking for anything permanent there is foolishness. It is foolish. Nothing is permanent there. So is there not anything permanent? Like yesterday I said that the Shvetashvatara, the Brahma Vidya, students of Brahma Vidya, they were discussing and finding out what can there be permanent. They finally, te dhyana yoga anugata pashyan. Have forgotten today. Yesterday we have discussed that. So, some wise person somewhere, he found that everything is mortal, everything is changeful. Is there not an immortality behind that? Can we see everything changeful without a permanent background? Unless there is something permanent against which these things are changing, how can it happen? So can I know anything permanent? So amritatvam icchan, that means desiring to find out immortality. Amritatvam icchan. What did he do? Avritta chakshuhu, closed his eyes. This is a figurative expression. Closed his eyes means all the senses, not looking outward as we are created from birth. Our focus is always outward. Withdrawing them, they focused within. Amritatvam icchan avritta chakshuhu pratyaga atmanam aikshat. They discovered what is the pratyag means inward, parak means outward. Here both the words are used. Pratyag means inward. They discovered that Atma, wherefrom that I is coming, discovered within that truth. Aikshata. It is not seeing with ikshana, means it is not a vision of the indriyas, not a vision of the sense organs. It's a vision of buddhi, vision of understanding. That there the discovery comes. It is not a discovery that you meditate and you see, no, this is my Atma. No. Then that is not the Atma. You who is seeing the Atma is the Atma. So Atma cannot be seen as an object before us. If we are deluded, we discover that Atma in various ways. It's not that. So, this term I wanted to specify, Aikshata, they use the term that they discovered, they saw, they understood, they came to know. So it is an experimental record, it is not a philosophy. Upanishads are repeatedly discussing about this truth as they discovered. So it means that you can also discover. If you do, then you can also discover. It's an experimental discovery. And they are repeatedly asking us to discover it firsthand, because it is a discovery about your own self, your own identity. A second-hand discovery will not give you. You have to know that what you are, and then only you will behave in that manner. Am I clear on that? So, Upanishads exhort us to transcend all faiths and concepts and to discover the truth firsthand. Because these concepts, they go on limiting us. Even a person like Ramakrishna Dev, in his own life, it is written by his disciples also, he was so one-pointedly fond of the Kali Mata, that his mother means the Divine Mother, that when Totapuri wanted him to get into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, to transcend all forms and everything, to get into the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, repeatedly Ramakrishna Dev was not able to. The image of the mother was coming in. Now we have to understand very well what is meant by the image of the mother coming in. That means it's an object before you. You are seeing the mother. You are seeing whatever be the vision, you are seeing it. So it will not lead to the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Generally we refer to as Savikalpa Samadhi, we say. Now Totapuri wanted Ramakrishna Dev to go to the formless Samadhi, where nothing will be there. It is the Advaya Jnana, where the subject, object, everything will get fused. There won't be any, even one also is not true there. It is beyond multiplicity, beyond oneness also. Finally, he hit his forehead, Ramakrishna Deva's forehead, with the one wood, firewood or something like that. And Ramakrishna Deva himself says that when mother appeared, taking her khadga, I cut her head. It's not exactly like that in Bengal, it is. That is, he destroyed the mother's image with the mother's khadga. What is mother's khadga? Jnana khadga. Khadga means the sword. The jnana, the sword of knowledge. With that you have to cut that image. And Ramakrishna Deva did it. The moment he did it, he got lost in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Now you see the benefit there. Ramakrishna Dev was so one-pointed throughout his life in his worship of Mother, that when he crossed over the image, he went into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. He remained there, he doesn't come down from there. Totapuri got anxious. In the film he is showing that Totapuri is loitering and thinking, what is this? Because he never had this kind of a Samadhi. Now this person, he has gone into the Nirvikalpa Samadhi and doesn't come back. It is because of the one-pointedness what he had already practiced. So when it went into the formless also, it got stabilized, established in it. Why did I say all these things? I was talking about first-hand discovery. But why did I take Ramakrishna Dev's? The difficulty, I was telling that here the line is there. One has to transcend all faiths, concepts, and discover the truth firsthand. This transcending the concept, transcending the faith is not easy. The more we are clinging to the concept of whatever concept we have, more difficult it will be to transcend and get into the knowledge. It's a practical point of sadhana. So I wanted to emphasize that. That if we have formed idea about this is Atma and this is this, you will find that that creates a bondage for us. To cross over that, all the concepts, all the faith, it needs lot of innocence, lot of straightforwardness, lot of surrender. Without surrender it doesn't happen. Because we will try to think of it and we will impose that on the truth. We will try to impose our conceptual model on truth, which doesn't work. That is why I mentioned about this. Now go to the next one. Generally, there are two enquiries which are dealt with both in Bhagavad Gita as well as Upanishads. Now they are the enquiries for everybody, but may not be both for everybody. Somebody will have this, somebody will have the other one, somebody will have both. What are the inquiries? The first one is there an ultimate reality behind the causal world we perceive? This I have discussed yesterday. That the causality, it doesn't take us to the ultimate reality. If B is the cause of A, C is the cause of B, like that you go any amount of, it is infinite regression. It is anavastha dosha. Whatever at the end you find Z, what is the cause of Z? So we should understand, we should not try to go backward and try to find out the absolute cause from where these have come. It is impossible. The logic itself says that it is ad infinitum, it will go on. So we should understand the flaw in that dual logic. We should understand that if there is any absolute truth, it has to be beyond the causality. Do you get my point? It's a little subtle, but it should be simple also. If you go by causality to find out the ultimate truth, then whatever you get by that, be it God, be it super God, be it anything, we will ask where from did that come? It will never end. So we should understand the flaw lies in our this causal logic itself to find out the absolute truth. If absolute truth is there, by definition it is beyond causality. That should be our conclusion. That should be our way of analysis. Now, if it is beyond the causality, then can it cause the universe? I am going to a little subtle level, but don't get worried, it is nothing difficult. Anybody will be able to understand provided you are just open to it. If I am saying that it is beyond causality, then if you say that, well, that has produced the universe, then are you not again linking that by causality? Because the universe is an effect and that is the cause. So you are again trying to put it in the law of causality. So the conclusion will be that the absolute truth has to be beyond causality, and by that it cannot even cause the universe. Then what happens to the universe? Universe is causeless. There is no, we call it material cause is not there. It's the whole thing is called vivatta srishti. There is a term in our Shastras, it is called vivatta srishti. That is, it's an apparent cause. It is not difficult at all. We may keep it away thinking it is philosophy. It's not philosophy. Apparent cause means the whole thing is appearing in consciousness. The universe is appearing in consciousness. It is not that the consciousness is an element and you are making the world, the human beings, the earth, the mountain and the sea with that consciousness. No. Then it becomes material cause, material causation. They are just appearing. Now, where from you are saying? Very simple. In your dream, what is happening? In the dream, you are seeing a aircraft which you have never seen in your life. You are seeing a palace. You are seeing the Himalayas mountain. Where from they are coming? There is no material available in the mind. You are sleeping. You are dreaming. The whole, whatever, the moment, whatever appearance is coming in dream, is it not made of consciousness alone? Now this consciousness is not a material which you can say that, oh, this is consciousness. No. This consciousness is the I, the revealer of everything. In that revealer, the world appears. So the whole creation is called, it's an apparent creation, apparential creation. It is not material causation. It's not out of any material causation. So actually this analysis that what is the ultimate truth behind, ultimate reality behind the world we perceive, this is an in pursuit of the intelligence. Anybody who is given to understanding truth will have this enquiry. And the enquiry will never be fulfilled until he lands on this discovery of the consciousness or our I, in which the whole universe is appearing to be. The second one is very common. What is that? Where lies the ultimate fulfillment of human life? This everybody wants, because they find that anything from the world is not making us fulfilled. We think that this guy, getting this, I will become happy. You get this, the moment you get this, you become happy for a while till another desire comes and remove this happiness. Or another fear of losing something comes in and remove this happiness. Is it not true? Think. For everybody is it true? Is it not true? So, naturally this quest will be there for any thinking person, that then where lies the ultimate fulfillment of life? Can I not become permanently happy by anything? So these two enquiries lead us to the Upanishadic enquiry as well as Bhagavad Gita enquiry. I thought that I will give a little reference to the shlokas. You will find here Kathopanishad 1.2.14, where Nachiketa is asking Yamaraja. Nachiketa was a 7-year-old boy. If he could think all these things, what is the harm? Why should you think that it is too philosophical? Nachiketa is asking Yamaraja. What is that? Yamaraja is telling him many things about morality, this, that, happiness, bringing in chariots, golden chariot, presenting him thousands of years of life, the whole emperorship of the world, everything. He is not agreeing to be attracted by any of this. So he is asking that Anyatra dharmad, anyatra adharmad, anyatra asmat krita kritat, anyatra bhutatcha bhavyatcha yat tat pashyasi tadvada. What is that? Anyatra dharmad, anyatra adharmat. That means whatever we have learnt in our religion as dharma and adharma, what is righteousness, what is not, what is good, what is bad, etc. He says, all these I know. They have been learnt in the religious class. I would like to know, if we want to know the supreme truth, then it has to be beyond the dharma and adharma code. Because the criminal is also produce of that supreme truth. And the saint is also a product of the supreme truth. So that why did God create the criminals? Why is God not removing all the suffering of the people? All these questions will be there in the general dharmic level. So Nachiketa understood that the truth encompasses everything in the world. Sukha and dukkha both have to be there. Only sukha or only dukkha cannot be there. Death and birth together will be there. We want all birth, but we don't want death. Then if all the people had lived forever, will you be able to stay? What will be the number now? The human beings? It is impossible. So we don't understand the comprehensive truth. When the vision becomes comprehensive, then we understand that everything is included in the truth. So he says, Anyatra dharmad, anyatra adharmat. You tell me something which transcends the differential notion of dharma and adharma. This is the first point. Second point, Anyatra asmat krita kritat. Krita and akrita, that means cause and effect. If you know anything that transcends this causality, I told you the causality logic before, just now. So he understood that the truth, if anything is there, it has to be beyond causality. Nachiketa, 7-year-old. And our scientists have been struggling with causality for even now. This is thousands and thousands of years ago, through the question of a 7-year-old boy, they are saying that if there is a fundamental, an absolute truth, it has to be beyond the code of dharma, adharma duality. It has to be beyond causality. Within the causality, they understood that the ultimate truth cannot be within causality. Then the third point is that anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha, which has to be, bhuta means past and bhavya means future, which has to transcend past and future. What does it mean? Transcend time. Now people say that why did he not mention present? Because there is no present. Present is a calculus. Calculus have you read? Present means the limit of the present is 0. Suppose it depends on the measurement of time. Suppose you measure 1/10 of a second, then 1/10 of a second backward is past, 1/10 of a second forward is future. You measure time 1,000th of a second, then 1,000th of a second is past, 1,000th of a second this is future. So you can take the present to ultimately to the zero level. The limit of that will be zero. Now what is that present? Actually it is not zero. That is the immortality also. That present is the, you will find many people say that live in the present, live in the present. Live in the present doesn't mean that you will be attentive about everything. It is not just that. Live in the present means live in the awareness of which is not within time, not within past, future, anything. That means know your Atma. Only when we know our real identity we can live in the present. Because even the concept of past, concept of future, all these are appearing in that consciousness. This mic is appearing in the consciousness when we are knowing it. But our focus is on the mic, so we are missing the consciousness. Yesterday I said about Kena Upanishad. Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate. When we know in every perception the truth, then we become immortal. How? Because there is nothing other than the, without the I, without the consciousness, can we know anything, even sleep? The I comes first. Without that there cannot be any experience at all. But because our focus is always what is revealed, the small things, we are always attracted and repelled by small things. But the universal thing, it is not a thing, which is producing, which is on which all this world is projected, we miss that everywhere. So, suppose you are looking within, you are thinking within. The moment a thought appeared, immediately your focus is on that thought. Say a sukha appeared or dukkha appeared or somebody, a person appeared. Your focus is on that person. Is it not? The moment it changed into some other past, some incident appears, your focus is on that incident which is revealed. But in both these cases, what is the revealer? Revealer is our mind, our consciousness. Is it not so? That part is present everywhere, every moment, in everything. Without that there cannot be any experience. But because our focus is always on the small objects which are revealed, we are missing that revealer. This is the fundamental difficulty in sadhana, in realizing the truth. And why our focus is on the small thing? You get back? It's common to all. I have already discussed it. Because we want to become happy by getting something from the world. We think that there is something in the world which will make me happy. In Bhagavad Gita's language, we are born with an insufficiency. That is why we are always craving for happiness. And we are running after one after another. In childhood, we were running after some games. Then we were running after ranks. Then we are running after some partner. Then we are running after children. Then we are running after grandchildren or their position in the society, their job and all. So constantly we are moving from one thing to another thinking that that will make me happy. But nobody has ever become happy from getting anything from the world. Otherwise the richest man in the world, the most famous man in the world, the most powerful politician in the world, all of them would have been happy. Is it not? So this constantly, the Bhagavad Gita's analysis is that we are born with this insufficiency or lack in us. In Sanskrit it is called abhava bodha. And with a delusion, corresponding parallel delusion that something from the world will fulfill me, will fulfill that insufficiency. That means we will become happy by gaining something from the world. We never introspect, never go into the detail that is it ever possible that getting something from the world I will become happy. Nachiketa understood. So he rejected everything that Yamaraja had given him. Only when we understand this truth and we discover, we find that the happiness is nowhere in the world. It is only in our, it's a natural coordinate of ourself. Happiness is always oozing from there. Our desires are not allowing us to feel that happiness. Our fear of losing something is not allowing to enjoy that happiness. The moment the desires and corresponding fears, anxieties, everything are removed, we become happy. So Bhagavad Gita's great conclusion, I have told earlier also here or the previous lecture, I don't know. It is not the fulfillment of the desire that makes us happy. It is the elimination of the desire which makes us happy. You will not accept, no? We think that whenever we are desiring something and it is fulfilled, we are becoming happy. What happens is that when we are getting the desired object, then the desire goes. That desire has got eliminated. So the mind becomes placid for a while until another desire comes in and again disturbs your mind. In the placid mind, as much as it becomes calm, undisturbed, that much we are able to see the bliss, the joy that flowing from within. In a pond, when there are waves, lot of waves, do you see the bottom? Even if the water is clear, you cannot see. When the waves subside, it becomes. But that also will depend on how much of turbidity is, how much of impurity is there in the water. If the water is impure, then the vision will not be clear. So if we constantly clean up our mind from the desires, anxieties and everything, basically raga dvesha, that is clinging to what we like and hating what we dislike. As the mind becomes purer and purer, the joy which is automatically welling forth from within, that becomes permanent. The permanent happiness doesn't come from anywhere in the world. It is always there. It is a natural coordinate of our own identity, the soul. The moment we are able to know it, we find that the world cannot give us happiness. Happiness is right within. Those who have meditated, they should think about it. That why are you meditating and trying to make your mind zero? Because the thoughts of the world is not making you happy. In meditation, when do you feel happiness? When the world is forgotten, is it not? The whole world is forgotten, including your own body, mind, personality are forgotten. Then only you can have the bliss, otherwise not. So we should immediately analyze that how is it that I am thinking always the happiness comes from the world. Then when I have forgotten the world, how is it that I have become happy? Does it not prove that the happiness is right within? It is not in the world at all. It is a natural coordinate of our soul. But still we will run after things from the world. Because we have not done the introspection to, even if you have understood now, you have to do enough of introspection to live this truth. The moment the mind again runs after thinking that by getting this I will become happy, you should do the introspection. I am never going to be happy by getting this. But if that has to be got or something has to be done, I will do it. Never getting deluded that by getting it I will become happy. The last point only, the carrot of happiness has to be taken away. Do you have that donkey's picture? No, no? Not take it. No, it will take, you can give it. So, I was with the Nachiketa's question. What is that? Anyatra dharmad, anyatra dharmad, anyatra asmad krita kritat, anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha, that yat pashyasi tadvada. He is telling Yamaraja that you please tell me if you know anything which transcends the dual code of dharma, adharma, which transcends the cause and effect chain, which transcends the past, present, future, past and future, the time. That means the transcendental truth. It cannot be within the fold of the dual mind or of the world. There is nothing transcendental here. Transcendental is only the revealer of the universe. It is just to understand our foolishness, I have put it. He has put that artifact with the carrot. The donkey is looking at the carrot and wanting to have the carrot. But as he proceeds, the carrot goes further. He never gets the carrot. We utilize the donkey by putting some load on his back, so that seeing the carrot goes to the front and I will take away when I reach the proper place. So like that, here also, this is Miru's addition. That we are also thinking that happiness is there, we are running after that, but the happiness never comes. The happiness comes, in our Shastras it is said that the Shruti Mata, our Shastras, they are saying that Atma is telling us that right from birth you are running away, getting lost, playing with the world, thinking that you will become happy. I have been calling you since birth. Come back on my lap, but you have never listened to. When we become fed up with the world and come back on the mother's lap, then we find that, here is the happiness, not in the outer world at all. Mother's happiness, mother's lap means it is our lap of the soul, our own real identity. Now, about fulfillment, I will mention only the Bhagavad Gita 6.22. I think it is Yam Labdhva, na? Yam labdhva chaparam labham manyate nadhikam tataha yasmin sthito na gurunapi dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. He says that yam labdhva cha aparam labham na manyate adhikam tataha. He says by getting which you will feel that there cannot be anything other than this to be attained, to be obtained. That means he becomes fulfilled. By getting which the mind will become fulfilled, that there is nothing else to be obtained from the world. Yasmin sthitona dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. If we can get stabilized in it, then even the severest of calamities, suffering or dukkha, they will not destabilize us. Because we know that the sukha, dukkha, whatever, the troubles, they are all in the world, that nothing of them touches me. So these are answered to that fulfillment, whether it will be a fulfillment or not. So both have been conclusively answered in the Upanishads. The reference is given there. Show the next slide, that is number 3. This is the result of self-realization. Where does it take us to? Actually, we say self-realization. It is, you need not say that. What happens is this. This is the practical thing. What is that? In Mundaka Upanishad, towards the end, 1.2.14, it is 1.2.14 or 2.2.14. 1.2.14 is saying that vidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha shiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. There are 3 things they are saying. Vidyate hridaya granthihi chidyante sarva samshayaha shiyante chasya karmani. These 3 things happen to the person when tasmin drishte paravare. Tasmin drishte means by seeing that truth, Atma, Brahman, whatever you may say. Where do you see? Para avara, in the big as well as the small, in meditation as well as non-meditative period, in great people as well as in the criminal. Everywhere, tasmin drishte paravare. This is very important. The truth is not only in the idol you see, truth is not only in the meditation you see. If you see the truth in the meditation and come back and again see the world, you will be equally disturbed by the world again. Maybe a little less, but not being able to get into meditation becomes the disturbance then. One day you have somehow got it, next day you are not able to get it. So it becomes a great viraha, a great separation, and you get troubled by that only. Even the world is not necessary to trouble you. The meditation itself becomes a trouble. So all the fulfillment, all the troubles, end of troubles will come when it is tasmin drishte paravare. Everywhere we find the same truth. Then only it happens. So he says, vidyate hridaya granthi. Granthi means our mind, our emotional part of our being. It's a constricted being. There are a lot of knots there. Is it not? You think about it. Why are you getting tension? All the source of the tension is the knot of the heart. That you are tense because You want to get something which you are not getting, or somebody has told you something abusive which you are not able to tolerate, or you want to speak to somebody abusively which you are not able to have that opportunity. Everything, we are creating our tension. We are creating our tension by not accepting whatever providence has created. See, providentially something has happened. Maybe we have lost everything. But the tension, the suffering we are having, we are not able to withstand that. Whatever has happened, can you do anything about it in the past? It has already happened. We cannot do anything about it. What you can do is go in the future and do whatever to be done for the retrieval or whatever it is. But about the past, you cannot do anything. It has already happened. You cannot walk back into the past. So the trouble, the tension you are feeling is not because of whatever has happened. It is because your mind's non-readiness to accept whatever has happened. Think about this statement. The non-readiness of our mind to accept whatever has providentially happened. Suppose in earthquake you have lost everything. Maybe you have lost your job also. Now you cannot do anything about it. You have to look for something new. You have to go somewhere else or do something. That comes later. But why should we become troubled? It is only because of the non-acceptance of whatever has happened, about which you cannot do anything. It has already happened. Is it not foolishness? You don't understand this? But we will still remain foolish. Again, tomorrow whatever will happen, it has happened. You cannot do anything at all. The readiness to accept, that we have to cultivate. Then we will become, our efficiency will increase tremendously. It is because of a tension created by non-acceptance or non-readiness to accept, that is not allowing us to retrieve, that is not allowing us to again go forward and do something efficiently. Is it not? Because the mind is under tension, it cannot have its full efficiency. The mind's efficiency will be tremendous when we are cheerful, when the full acceptance of things are there. You will find that everything you are doing in almost in a lightning speed, everything is getting done, and you will do it cheerfully. Whether you fail or you are successful, it doesn't matter. You have done to your best. Am I speaking trash? So, the first part is the Bhidyate Hridaya Granthi. That means we have made our mind and emotional part of our being small, constricted, distorted, and we are suffering because of that. That is what we call ego. So he says, by seeing this truth, by knowing this truth, there is no smallness, constriction at all. You know that it's like a universal light. The whole inner being becomes absolutely free without an ego, zero ego. Ego of zeroness will be there. That is different. That's a great relief also. Then the second point is the Chidyante Sarva Samshayaha. Now, apart from the emotional part of our being, we have the intelligential trouble also. What is that? We are suffering from doubt. Is what Swamiji is saying is true or not? No, other somebody I have read there, it is different. So you are going on with your doubt and all. Whether this will happen or that will happen. Will I become this or will I become that? Will I get the job or not? All these are doubts of the intelligence. Not all of the doubts. I am talking about the doubts of the intelligence about the truth also. Have I known the truth or not? That is the last doubt. That also will be there. So he says, Chidyante Sarva Samshayaha, means all the doubts of the intelligence will be completely dissolved. Then what remains? Kshiyante Chasya Karmani. This karma means whatever we do linked by causality. That is, we think that I have done something great. For that I feel elated. Or I have done something sinful. For that we feel constricted, suffer. Maybe I have not looked after my parents well. You go on suffering because of that. This is also karma. That I have done something either great, I feel elated. Either if it is not great, then I feel sinful about it. Similarly, in future, I have to do this, I have to do that. That means assigning a doership and enjoyership to us. Doership means I have to do, I have done all this, and enjoyership means I want to enjoy this, I want to have the good meditational fulfillment, that also. All these things are karma. Karma means we are suffering from the doership and enjoyership. As long as the smallness of the identity is there, this doership and enjoyership will be there. So he says that this ultimate freedom which this knowledge is bringing is a threefold freedom. When does it come? Tasmin drishte paravare. When we see this truth in everything, everywhere, in small as well as big, in meditation as well as non-meditation period, everywhere. One is the full emotional fulfillment, vidyate hridaya granthihi. Other is the intelligential fulfillment, that means doubtlessness. And the third one is the doership, freed of doership and enjoyership. Kshiyante chasya karmani. This is the absolute freedom that the Upanishads tell us. Now, the question is, we may not have had tasmin drishte paravare, that we have not seen the truth everywhere. But if we have the humility to accept that this is the truth, and there is enough, not only humility, if you have the humility, you can find out the rational background behind that. It's absolutely rational also. So if you can accept it, then the results you can incorporate in your behavior, even if you have not realized that the universal dimension of our real identity, whenever we are behaving selfishly, we should remember and remove the selfishness. Whenever we are behaving in a constricted manner about not only about our relatives but about the neighbors or anywhere, it's a partial constricted behavior, we should remember and remove it. Then what is happening? In effect, by following the effect, this is they are saying tasmin drishte paravare, these three things happen in your emotional level, intelligential level, and your doership level. Now whatever happens, if you can incorporate in your character that whatever you have done, whatever to be done you will do. I won't bother about I have to do this, I have to do that. If occasion comes, I will do everything. So the doership I will get rid of. Enjoyership, whatever providence gives us, we will enjoy. Not that we are not enjoying, we will enjoy, but we will not run after the enjoyment and always try to avoid the suffering. If suffering comes, we will take. If happiness comes, we will take it. Acceptance kind of a thing. Then what is happening? The third quality is dawning in your mind. The doership is going slowly. Doership and enjoyership. Like that, in intelligence also, if doubts are there, you treat the doubts to some extent as much as you can and try to follow the scriptures or the guru or whatever to follow the paths shown by the people who have gone across the ocean, who has already crossed the path. Then the intelligence will also become confident to follow the path. It will not be always doubting about, shall I take this path, shall I take that path. And I have already told you that the thumb rule is that whatever path, look within and find out that suppose you are standing at a crossroad, path A is there, path B is there. Well, if I take path A, there will be a lot more of money, power, maybe prestige also. But something in my inside is saying that this is not the correct way to gain it. There is something wrong. So looking within, you find that in spite of external power or fame or anything, internally we feel constricted, internally we feel weak, internally we feel a heaviness. Then that is not the path for Shreyas. That is not the path to auspiciousness. Whereas taking the path B, if we feel that, well, I may lose some money, I may lose some power, but I feel very confident in walking that straightforwardness. I feel in my inner level, I feel a strength, I feel a lightness that I am on the right path. I feel that this will take me to auspiciousness, although I may have to face some challenges. So that is the right path. So the intelligence will always look within and find out what is the path to be taken. The thumb rule is very clear. Whenever you choose for the path which will give you inner strength, inner stability, inner lightness, inner expansion, that the mind will become embracing everybody. See, this problem for everybody, every day almost will come, that we are behaving in a very personal, constricted manner, or we are embracing others. Even in giving certain things also, are we embracing our family people or the neighboring family or that? Are we incorporating the dimension of the societal dimension? Are we thinking of the society? Every time we do something for others, for embracing others, it means the expansion of the mind, and you will get much more joy than enjoying something with your own sense organs or so. We have a lot of stories I have already told here and there, I will not repeat. So although we may not have the ultimate knowledge, if whatever the characteristics of a knower, that means whatever the results of such a knowledge, if we incorporate them in our daily life, then every time we do it, we will find a new joy, new expansion, a new brightness, a new strength opening within. And that will guide us on this path. So that is why I am saying that Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita are for everybody. Forget about Bhagavad Gita, sadhana also is for everybody, provided we follow it. There also, all the qualities have been enumerated in 13th chapter, 12th chapter, 15th chapter, so many qualities are there. Those qualities will come to a knower who has realized the truth. But if we follow the quality, then we will also coming closer and closer to that point. Can you show that picture? It is in that hill. See, it's just to demonstrate that from the hill different streams are coming down. The streams, we have named them as qualities of our what is that? No, it is not here. Like unaffectedness, universal love, impersonality, fearlessness, liberality. These are all streams coming down. Why have I drawn like this? Suppose you take any of the stream and climb upward towards the peak. Are you not coming closer and closer to all the streams? As you go up, you are coming closer to all the streams. Exactly like that, all these qualities are flowing down from the peak of realization. So when you take up any quality, say it is liberality or unaffectedness, as you go up and up on that quality, imbibing more and more of that, you will find that the other qualities also, the 24 qualities written in Bhagavad Gita, they are also embellishing you. They will automatically come. And when you reach the top, all the qualities, they mean only one thing, the universality of our identity, nothing else. From there all the qualities come. When that identity gets covered, the whole trouble of the world comes from there. All the selfishness, competition, greed, everything comes from the covering up of our real identity. So it is applicable to all of us. You cannot defer it saying that, oh, I have not realized the truth and it is far off. So therefore, Upanishad is not for me, or the Bhagavad Gita is not for me. It is for everybody. We can walk the path following the qualities, following the effect of it. I think today I will stop. The other day we will do, tomorrow again I will do. Some questions can be there. It's 10 minutes to 8. We can have about 15 minutes of question answer. Yesterday one diagram I had missed. Can you show that tray which I just spoke, but the diagram was missing? Discover the unlimited depth of your mind. It is number 11. Before that, number 10 and number 9, we have seen that it is the wave identity which is causing all the problem. Previous one? It is the wave identity which is causing all the problem. This I have explained already. The second slide is, when we know the vast inner dimension, that is the sea or ocean identity. Next one. Then we understand the waves are on me. I am the entire mass of ocean on which all the waves are running. So I have the universal comprehensive vision. Then the benefit of this comprehensive vision comes in the next slide. Here I have shown that when the depth of the tray is only 2 centimeter, any wave which is greater than 1 centimeter, that also disturbs the whole body of water, and the water will be thrown out. Is it not? It can sustain only 1 centimeter wave. Whereas when the depth is the sea depth, that is say 14 kilometers or 12, or let us say 10 kilometers, then it can sustain even 30 meters wave, 100 feet wave, or even greater than that. Even then, it is the disturbance is only on the surface level. The whole mass of the nothing happens to do it. Not only that, the depth of the sea makes it can host larger waves. The waves all break near the beach because the depth is not there. When the same wave it comes, it was a full wave. When it comes near the beach, it is shallow. So it cannot sustain that big wave. Immediately it starts breaking. The breaking of the waves are because of that. In the mid-sea you will find huge waves, without breaking they can sustain. Even inside also there are density waves and all. So once we know the depth of our mind, which is nobody else will be able to tell you, you have to understand the depth of our mind, that we are much more powerful than the world. Nothing in the world can disturb us. It is only our acceptance button has to be pressed in the proper time. It is only our liberality, our expansion of the mind has to be incorporated in the proper time. Nothing in the world can disturb. What can it do? If I am not bothered by anything happening around, I am unaffected by everything, then what can the world do to me? Our Shastras say that even all the 7 oceans going dry will not affect a knower. One day if he finds that the whole ocean has become dry, he will not be affected. Nobody can threaten him saying that then 2030 the world will be destroyed and all. They are not bothered about it. Let it be destroyed. How does it matter? The world is always taking birth and getting destruction. In his mind, it's all apparent creation, just like a cinema. It's just happening in the consciousness. When you see in the mirror, look into the mirror, you look into your face, is it not? But first, what are you seeing? Can you tell me? The mirror. The mirror is allowing you to have the reflection. But we forget the mirror. We don't see the mirror even. Whatever is seen there, practically if it is my own face, then we'll be immediately attracted. But forget about my own face. Anything, even a cat seen in the mirror also, our focus will be on the mirror. But we will miss the mirror. That is what is happening in our all interactions. Without the I, without the consciousness, no experience is there. But we are missing that consciousness, the revealer of the world. And because our focus is always on the small things. So Yoga Vasishta gives various methods of focusing on this substratum. He says that there are 2 thoughts. Two thoughts cannot be together. One thought goes, other thought comes. If you can follow the process of one thought subsiding, another thought rising, there is an in-between point. In-between point means when this has subsided, that has not yet to rise, that point. If you can focus on that, you will be able to identify the truth. You will be able to identify your Atma. You will be able to identify the consciousness there. Because there is nothing to hold on to. Another item has not come up where you will be focusing. No item is there. Various methods are there. Now let us have some questions. Huh.
Hello. Hello. Thank you so much for this amazing discussion. And I don't even have words. But so, is there any rules in
your name is Kurahati, na? What is the name?
Harnoor?
Oh, no, you are not.
No.
What is your name?
Harnoor.
Harnoor.
Yes.
You are Sardar?
Yes.
Achha.
So.
Harnoor Singh.
Yes, Harnoor Singh.
Achha.
So the question I have is there any rule for creation? How much it expands before it contracts, or
that rule will be under science. That is causal creation. It is related by causality, whether it will be following the Big Bang, or it will have construction and expansion, or it is a steady state. These are all causal science models. In our case, it's all an apparent vivarta srishti. It just appears as in dream. It is not a dream, it is a universal cosmic dream, you can say. Our normal dream is personal dream, where you are dreaming, but at that time I am dreaming something else, or I am not dreaming. But this is a cosmic dream, because what is this consciousness? When we say that the whole, try to understand, whole world is appearing in the consciousness when we are saying. Does not the world consist of your body, mind, personality also? You are product of the world. You are product of nature. Is it not? So in the Atma, in the Brahman, in the consciousness, the whole world, which includes your body, mind, personality also, is appearing. So can you call that the consciousness is in the body? Or the body is in the consciousness? It is opposite to what our scientists say. And that is what our discovery is at this point. That the whole thing is appearing in you will not know your body also unless it appears in your mind. Is it not? Your body has to, in some form, it has to appear in your mind to know your body also. Why did I say this? So all the concepts about the world, whether it is time, space, all these expansion, contraction, they are all time, space, limited models. The very idea of time, space, causality, everything is in the mind. The truth is transcending that. They are all appearance in the truth. All concepts, we have to transcend the concept to go to the truth. That is why it is called avang manaso gocharaha. It cannot be attained by the mind or word. But at the same time, manasai vedam aptavyam, Upanishad says, it has to be attained by mind. Is it not contradictory? It means that the normal mind operating on duality, the concept of duality, truth cannot be experienced. You have to transcend it to realize the truth. In Kathopanishad there is a beautiful shloka which explains this. Yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasa saha buddhishchana vicheshtati tam ahu paramam gatim. Tam ahu paramam gatim. That is the supreme state. Tam ahu is called the supreme state, paramam gatim. Which is the supreme state? Yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasa saha buddhishchana vicheshtati. This is the description of the state. When all the 5 sense organs avatishtante, they are not sleeping. They are awake, but they are not doing anything, silent. Yada panchavatishtante jnanani manasasa. All the 5 sense organs, and also including the mind. 5 plus 1, the mind. That means the hands and legs are not working. The eyes are not interested in seeing anything. The ears, they are all open, but they are not interested in seeing anything, hearing anything, tasting anything. And the mind is not thinking at all. Mind, non-functioning mind means it is not. But it is not slept. It has not slept. It is awake. But it is not thinking. Now when there is no thought, you can understand, even if the senses are functioning, nothing will be known because the mind is not functioning. If the eyes are seeing, that scene will not come into the brain, it will not come to the mind at all. Is it not? When the mind, there is no, the moment you are seeing the lamp, that lamp thought is coming to your mind. The image of the lamp has to come in your mind. When you are sleeping, I open your eyes and show the lamp. And then when you get up, I ask that, did you see the lamp? You will not. It has to appear in the mind. So, jnanani manasasaha. Then the next point is buddhischana vicheshtati. There is no effortfulness of the buddhi, intelligence. Normally the intelligence will be effortful when you are doing meditation also. Oh, it is that state? Is it samadhi? Is it savikalpa, nirvikalpa? Is it this? Is it that? That means the buddhi is still having the effort. It is still working. That also has to stop. When everything stops, tamahu paramam gatim. Why? Because that is the point, the self reveals itself. Nothing else can reveal the self, because the revealer is the self. If anything else reveals the self, then that will be the self, not this. So the self has to reveal the world, reveal internal world, reveal external world, and when the whole world wipes off without falling asleep, the self reveals itself. It is the same state as the deep sleep state, only difference is our awareness is still there. So that we can know what is happening. In deep sleep you don't understand the whole thing, because the buddhi is sleeping, the mind is sleeping, the body is sleeping. In this case none of them is sleeping. They were all awake, but they are not functioning, they are still.
Can you hear? Oh, sorry. So in my deepest state of meditation, like I don't feel like doing anything, but then a fear arises, like
if fear cannot arise, fear arising means you are not in meditation. You have already lost the meditation.
Yes. So the question comes, what next? If
that will not come. If you come to this state, you will get in tune with the infinite, infinite. You will be in tune with nature. If you allow that state to, not that state, but that going in tune with the fundamental harmony of nature, whatever nature gives you, you will go on doing that. And nature is very clever. The moment somebody does it, more and more work comes to him, because he finds that this work will be done. So we don't have to even worry, what shall I do? Nature will pull you here, there, everywhere. Our ashramites are all like that. Whatever work we have done before, we can do much more than that. We can do at least a work of 10 people. Because it becomes tremendously fast also. When we are working, because our mind is disturbed by the expectation, desire, anxiety, fear, all these things, the full potential never comes. So when the mind is free, you are in tune with nature, padapat, everything will be done, and you will do the right thing. That is why I said that Brahma says that I don't never take a wrong step, because Vishnu is in my heart. That means when you are in tune with the fundamental truth of nature consciousness, then nature gets done everything by you. Whatever to be done, whatever your personality can do. Other things you will not do, you won't bother about it. Suppose you don't earn money, ठीक है, begging करके रहेंगे थोड़ा, इधर उधर से जो मिलेगा ठीक है. If you have some ill reputation, people abuse you, ठीक है, you will look into it. Is there any truth in the whatever he is saying? If there is truth, you thank him and correct it. If there is no truth, it is his business, let him abuse. How does it matter? He is happy by abusing me. So I am a cause of happiness for somebody else, which is very difficult. Even if I do many things for a person, he doesn't become happy. Now here, without doing anything, I have become happy. So all the more I am happy. These are all not my word, this is Bhartrihari's word. There are shloka for everything. King Bhartrihari. Anything else? Say, that is why I told that that you are, that whole universe, including your personality, is appearing in that consciousness. So it is like the dream in the cosmic consciousness, cosmic mind, you can say. Consciousness is already there.
Namaste, Swamiji. Punja Chaudhary. I have two questions. What is the difference between the conscious and Chetana? And what is the difference between Atma and Paramatma? Are they same?
See, Atma, Paramatma, Brahman, these three, there is no difference. The difference is, as long as our vision is small, we think that Atma is in the body and it is different from him. For him, each person has a different Atma. Actually, it is not so. The whole Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita are speaking of an Atma which cannot do anything. There is no question of any duality or multiplicity there. Atma is only one and it is beyond one, transcendental. So when we know our I in us, which is now, it is body-mind limited I, that I think I is only my I and his I are different. When we discover that I, we find that in that I, the whole universe is appearing. It is not my I or his I. There can be only one I. Kshetrajñam chapimam viddhi sarvakshetreshu bharata. 13th chapter. So, there is no difference at all. What Shankaracharya says is, Jiva, what we are saying, actually it is Brahman alone, and that is the truth. But in our constricted vision, they appear to be different. So generally when we say Paramatma means the universal Atma. Actually Atma itself is Vyapnoti iti Atma. Vishnu means Vyapnoti iti Vishnu. All these things are all pervading. When we say all pervading, then also it is wrong. It is not pervading everything. Everything is appearing in it. This is the first, in which the whole world is appearing. So it is beyond one also, that is why we are saying. So otherwise, in the proper vision, Atma, Paramatma, there is no difference. Even Brahman also is the same. Yesterday I told you about Bhagavatam, na? That Vadanti tat tattvavidaha tattvam yad jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyate. The knower of truth is in Bhagavatam. Knowers of truth, they say, tattvam yad jnanam advayam. The essence, the absolute, the ultimate truth is the Advaya Jnana, the non-dual knowledge. It is a knowledge, nothing else. What is that? Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti Shabdyate. That is called Brahman in Vedanta, called Paramatma in the spiritual pursuit, and Bhagavan by the religions, God. It's not different at all. There is another Hanuman shloka is there. I don't know whether I will be able to remember. Jiva bhave, Jiva, Mala, do you know? Dasosti, Amsha. Anybody can tell me? It is in Ramayana. When I am thinking that I am Jiva, then my bhava is I am your servant, Dasa. When I think that I am your part, iti me nishchita matihi. The end part is iti me nishchita matihi. Tamevaham. When I am having the truth vision, then I and you are the same. Iti me nishchita matihi. There is the shloka is there. Anyway. What was the second question? Now internet guru is everywhere there. So, Deha buddhyatu dasosmi. This buddhi was not coming. Deha buddhyatu dasosmi jiva buddhya twadam shakaha atma buddhya tvamevaham iti me nishchita matihi. Hanuman says that this is my confirmed opinion. What is it? Deha buddhyatu dasosmi. When I think that I am the body, then I am your servant, because otherwise you will sit on your master. That when I am thinking I am small, I am this body, it is better to remain the servant of the Lord, like that. Jiva buddhya tvadam shaka. When I think that I am the jiva, that the living element in me, not the body, but the living principle in me, then actually I am your part. Tvadam shakaha means your amsha, your part. Because you are also consciousness, I am also consciousness, some consciousness is in me and I am your part. Atma buddhya tvamevaham. But when I understand that I am the Atma is not limited by the body. Atma is everywhere the same. The whole universe is appearing in Atma. So when I have the Atma buddhi, that I am the soul, I am the Atma, then I am not different from you. Oh Rama, I am same as you. Because Rama is one who has identified with this universal Atma. When anybody else identifies with the universal Atma, the two are the same. Iti me nishchita mati. Does it clarify your point? Any other question? 2 minutes at the 8:15 we should stop. Oh, that will take a little time. I will briefly tell you. There are quite a few significances you can say. The first one is actually, it is not orange, it should be gairika, that ochre. It's a mitti color, which is a little darker and dirtier than this. That is not available, so we have to do this. So that Gerua color, it's a mitti color, it's a color of earth. So what is the great quality of the earth? Can you tell me? Tolerance. Tolerance. You pass tool in the earth, it will never say anything. You take away all the treasure from the earth, it doesn't say anything. Certain things happen that is as a repercussion of that. Earth intentionally doesn't do anything. Suppose you make a very huge dam, suddenly you collect all the water there. What will happen? Will it not disbalance the earth? Suddenly at one point you have stored so much water. So earth will have to, suppose I put here 20 kilogram, will it not bend like this? So the earth also tries to adjust its motion if you disturb its balance so much. In the farm you will have earthquake. Bhakranangal. Nehru announced that we have won over nature. Then the earthquake came. You cannot win over nature. You have to be harmonious with nature. That was the first mistake of Nehru, I think. So it will balance. It's not retaliation. It's a balance, regaining balance. So earth never is intolerant about anything. It accepts whatever is done. That is how a sannyasin is supposed to be tolerant about everybody. Some people will put mala on you. Some people will put abuses on you. You have to accept both without feeling bad about the person who is giving abuses and feeling too much elated about the person who is giving you garland. Both will come and go. ठीक है, कुछ नहीं है उसमें. But whatever to be done on the surface, you have to do. Now, this is one meaning. The second meaning is still deeper. It is the color of fire. It's the color of fire. But it is not the material fire, but jnanagni. Jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurutarjana. This knowledge fire, it destroys all differential notion, good, bad, that all the duality, raga, dvesha, everything is destroyed by this knowledge, this ultimate knowledge, advaya knowledge. So a sannyasin, you don't know perhaps, we are not supposed to do any worship or jajna also. People do not know. In taking up sannyasa, there is something called viraja homam. That is, before that you have been doing all the homa, that rituals and all. But in sannyasa, the ritual itself is called viraja. Viraja means the end of raja, end of all karmas, end of everything. So the sacred thread has to be put in the fire of that sacrifice. What does it mean? Sacred thread is necessary for the rituals, puja, homa and all. You are not allowed to do any more puja, homa, anything. Put it in the fire. Sannyasa represents knowledge alone. He should pursue the kevala jnana nishtha, the knowledge pursuit. So a sannyasin is given to knowledge means for him all differential notions will be completely dissolved by the knowledge. So this is like the policeman putting on a particular dress. This is also our dress, that people should be able to identify that if I have any trouble in my mind, or if I have been completely ostracized by the society, this is a person I can go and confess my everything over there. And it happens also, people do come like that. Am I clear in saying what? So it is, first thing is it represents the earth. Second is it represents knowledge fire. Fire means fire of knowledge. The third thing is very simple. We are supposed to do parivrajana, going around, and those days no aircraft, nothing was there. We had to walk on the field. So this is a color which even if it becomes dirty, it is okay. So it's a practical solution for us, that you put on a dress which can become any amount of dirt, and nobody will bother about getting some detergent or this or that. There could be other interpretation also. But it represents, in all this, it represents vairagya or tyaga. Tyaga means renunciation, and vairagya means viraga. It has come from viraga. Viraga, the nature of viraga is vairagya. Raga means clinging to what you like, and dvesha means hating what you dislike. Raga stands for both positive and negative. Viraga means when we are freed of the raga dvesha. So vairagya means no more clinging to what we like and no more hating what we dislike. You have to take the world with impersonality, impartiality. So it's a color of vairagya that way. The peak of vairagya is the Atma. Why? Because Atma is not affected by anything at all. Sukha, dukkha, this, that. Atma doesn't get, it is absolutely changeless. It is not in the objective field, that it will undergo any change. It doesn't change. So vairagya also will give you that power that you will not be affected by anything in the world. This is the greatest spirituality, unaffectedness. Bhoge roga bhayam, kule chuti bhayam. Then? Vitte nripalad bhayam. Mane dainya bhayam, bale ripu bhayam. Rupe kritant, rupe jaraya bhayam. Sarvam vastu bhayanvitam bhuvinrinam vairagyam eva bhayam. Whatever you have, there is the fear of losing it. If you get attached to money, you have the fear of losing money. If you get attached to your good looking, the jara, the old age will take you away. However much you put paint, and now this, what is that, Botox? It's a new revelation to me. The other day your friend told me, Sampada. I never knew about it, that they're making their face fluffy and all. To me it looks very ugly. I don't know who has done the Botox. So, rupe jaraya bhayam. Like that, everything you have, there is a fear of losing it if you get attached to it. If you are not attached to it, doesn't matter, it comes, it goes, nothing happens. Vairagyam eva abhayam. The only fearlessness, the abode of fearlessness is vairagya. Because you are not affected by anything, it is unaffectedness. So it takes us to the abode of fearlessness. A sannyasi doesn't fear anything from anywhere in the world. That is why he can give also to people, he can give abhaya to people. The fearlessness can be given by that. The real sannyasa represents that. We should be trying to do as close as possible. Shall we stop, or anything important prashna is there? I can still. but you have become hungry. Now the food is waiting. You are waiting, not waiting for the food, but the food is waiting for you. Generally ritualistic they do. We don't do all this. That is traditional ritualistic sannyasa. We don't do that. They have to normally. But a sannyasin, you should not do shraddha. Whether they have done in a sannyasa ceremony or not, for a sannyasa, you never should do any shraddha. Then you have made him a mortal. Shraddha is done from those who suffer from mortality. That is okay. What I am saying is that when a sannyasin leaves his body, the people surrounding him should not do any shraddha or anything. Understood. I am saying whether the sannyasin has performed a ceremony or not during his sannyasa. The question is sannyasin. For a sannyasin, shraddha is redundant. We should not do it. That is an apamana, that is an insult to sannyasa, that you are considering him to be a body. Understood? So generally they give, what do you call it? Put in a sitting posture in the earth and put a shivalinga on that and make it a temple. It's a traditional practice. Nowadays we cremate because that's the easiest. Okay. Shall we stop? Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranami. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodhasvarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami